As we all finish doing nightmare capitalism math, shall we talk about what happened last game?
Oh, I was so busy clicking through spells that I wasn't looking at the page with my notes on it. We went to the cliffs and the caves. We went hunting for an intelligent undead to bring back to cure in Ilya's wedding. Macklin found us a cave system. We snuck into the cave. We almost got shot by a trap arrow. Then we remembered to check for traps. Corin volunteered to hang out outside, allegedly to watch our back, possibly just because he didn't want to get shot by arrows when we forgot to check for traps. We all explored the caves. And it seemed like maybe it had been a storehouse once. There were supplies. There was a trash heap. Jocelyn could tell that it smelled like gunpowder because it turned out there was a giant barrel of gunpowder. There was also a gun. And it looked like things had ended badly for whoever's gun it was. We didn't think we could be trusted to have the gun, so V picked it up, but he didn't really want it, so he handed it over to Macklin, who could tell it was not like a proper good Whitestone gun. It was like a copy of an early gun, or someone who had like seen a gun at a distance and made a bad copy of it. But it was broken, so the chances of accidentally destroying ourselves with it seemed slim. There was also foreign gold from specifically Marquesian gold. There was a backpack with letters written in Elvish that looked like somebody had maybe been paid to make contact with the Count, maybe had his interests at heart, maybe didn't have his interests at heart. Yeah, there's a whole something that had been going down here that we saw like lots of little pieces of, and some of us may have put together more of those pieces than others. We didn't put together too many of the pieces because we were busy looking at a weird wall of force situation and a weird pile of bones situation, and then a weird chanting situation, and Macklin could tell that someone had collapsed the roof in the tunnels but like done it on purpose, maybe to channel people into narrow tunnels to be better eaten or otherwise destroyed. We followed the chanting as you do, and found our way to a larger cavern, which was occupied by several horrifying howlers and a very tall skeleton wearing a crown. And then we fought the very large howlers and the tall skeleton wearing a crown and defeated them. I believe someone took the skeleton's... Did we take this? No, we took a howler's head and we took the skeleton's crown, and we're going to combine the two things, I believe, to make an impressive show at the wedding. While that was happening, we tossed the bedroom and found a wand. So now we have a wand of smiles. Thank you to V for identifying that. I'm sure that won't get used for anything inappropriate. And then it was time to go back because somebody's supposed to get married tonight. So Ojin, someone, I don't remember how we called for Ojin. Presumably it was over the earring situation. But yeah, we all got picked up and teleported along with horses back to the middle of the forest where the wedding is to occur. What I got?
That poor skeleton lord was just sitting in there contemplating his orb when a bunch of adventurers just burst in and ruined his day.
There was no orb. We saw no orbs. We searched. He was contemplating his lack of an orb.
Would the presence of an orb have changed our actions at all?
I mean, maybe.
We would have taken it with us as a trophy?
Maybe.
It depends on what kind of orb it was.
See, that's even worse. He was contemplating his lack of an orb when a bunch of adventurers just burst in like the Kool-Aid Man and laid
I believe he was chanting
upon him.
He was
chanting for the deliverance of an orb from Celestial FedEx.
He was on the line with customer support. He had them on speakerphone.
The orb has not yet been delivered.
We wondered what all those background voices were.
Amazing.
That awkward moment when you know the customer service hold song.
I don't think we looted very much from the Deathlock or his friendly puppies, but Tab, I think you found a wand of smiles?
Sure did. I think we looked at the Deathlock, but he didn't have any pockets, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So
Johnson just took his crown. Yeah.
Just the crown, not the whole ass head?
And no, I took the head too. I took the head and the
Took
crown.
the whole ass.
Oh, great. We have multiple
So-
heads.
So
Fabulous.
we'll take the head and we'll jam it into the back of the skull of the Howler to make it have double heads
Oh,
for
that's
twice
creepy.
the power.
And we'll call it Janice.
Call it Janice. It's twice as better.
I hate everything about this.
It's your wedding gift.
Yeah.
I
Why
hate it
are you
more.
ungrateful?
Well, you're not coming up with any ideas. God. We could always commence the yassification of the skulls in the head. We do have makeup kits.
The assification?
The yassification. Hit the slay button, Michelle. Am I alone in this meme? God damn it.
Yeah, it seems that
I
way.
have some vague
It's-
idea of what you might be referring to, but I've not actually seen it.
It's like an AI that glows up in images. You hit the yassification button, and this ugly picture becomes like super done on makeup, smoky eyes, lipstick, foundation, all just kind of blended into the image.
I was
dropped
just
the
about
joke
writing
about the
what you were
orb. That was
referring
all
to
the
then.
memes for me tonight.
So who wants to play some D&D?
I guess.
So I believe all but Jazin were left in a, because Jazin refused to take a shower. We're left in a room to prepare for the wedding itself.
I think it was a well-appointed tent.
It was a well-appointed tent, including shower and your fancy clothes, which had been recovered and delivered.
The fanciest of clothes.
Right on. Well, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time doing myself up.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college for this. Thieves College.
Thieves College. Proficient with a makeup kit. Macklin's got
Hell
killer. Macklin's got killer winged eyeliner. It's a perfect wing too. That dexterity.
You just redoing the makeup you did for the Mexican party.
Basically.
And I'm sorry, maybe I misheard. I thought you said that Jocelyn was left. It was someplace particular. Are we all there?
Everyone's there but Jazin, who decided he was
Oh!
not going to be participating in this.
Okay, I heard exactly backwards. My apologies. So I'm sorry. Where are we? Are we?
You guys are in a tent.
We're in the middle of the. Okay, we're in a tent. Thank you. I was not.
With a where a tent is a beautiful large tent with several large. The chairs are wooden, but they're draped with furs. There is a shower.
Shower.
Several trunks of clothes have been brought, including your fancy clothes, as well as things that looks like they were gathered that might fit your style / personality. Yeah. Everything you might need to prepare yourself for a fancy event.
We're gonna consider the really sparkly cloak, but not use the really sparkly cloak.
Okay.
What's wrong with that cloak?
It's a bit too loud.
We will walk up and take the cloak and give it a shake. Is it sparkly because it's like got metal bits on it, or is it just metaphorically loud?
I believe it's iridescent, so metaphorically loud.
Oh, this
Metaphorically loud.
cloak from hell.
From hell.
From hell.
That y'all stole from the coat room in hell.
You've been carrying it around all that time. You're not going to wear it.
I've been trying to find a use for it. But with the nice leaves and the everything happening at dusk, it seems like a bit too much noise and color this occasion.
I'm currently getting cleaned up in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna sneak up to V and hold the cloak up, like sneak up behind him and hold the cloak up, trying to tell whether it goes with his outfit or not.
Roll for sneak.
Yeah. Oh, Pretty terrible, but still 29 because rogue.
Yeah, passive perception is 23, so you actually managed to sneak. Good job.
We are standing behind V, holding the cloak up. We were trying to hide from V, but from no one else. Like, we don't care if anyone else sees us unless they're gonna rat us out. So we are now like holding the cloak up, like looking at Macklin, looking at Corin. Sounds like Jocelyn is not present, and Cure is did I hear in the shower? So not immediately present. And
He has washed his hands and is digging
Yeah.
through one of the chests of clothes, trying to find, things.
We're raising significant questioning eyebrows to those who are present, looking for their input.
Yeah.
We make like a thumbs up and a thumbs down motion, and
Magna makes a
look
thumbs up
expectantly again.
motion.
What color is the cloak of Aratni?
It's black with, but it's shot with silver threads in a spiderweb pattern.
Tough choice.
And we got a thumbs up, so we will say from just behind V's shoulder, "You won't need that. We found you a cloak."
V tries to jump, and let's roll Dex, because this could be amusing.
Just clings to the ceiling of the tent.
Pull the whole thing down because it's a tent.
Is that a high roll or a low roll?
Probably a low one.
Okay, that is a 17 for Dex.
Okay, you jump normal though. Nothing super graceful, but also nothing.
But I don't actually end up face first in the trunk.
No.
We just stand there and we hold the cloak out to V once he is stationary again.
All I can see is silver.
It's very good.
I don't suppose this is a reversible cloak where you can, the inside is not silver?
It's very shiny. Macklin isn't going to use it, and someone should.
Are you volunteering?
We are volunteering you.
I
We
don't
will
think that's how that works.
drape it around his shoulders. And then step back hastily.
V blinks, now wearing 2 cloaks. And looks back into the trunk he was digging through for things that might tone this down a bit.
Excellent. We give it an approving nod and return to letting Macklin do our eyeliner.
Jocelyn, what are you up to?
Pretty much following Ocean around. I think we're gonna go deliver some heads.
Sure.
And Jocelyn's probably gonna banter back and forth and talk about. And then, they went down this tunnel, and all of a sudden there were 4 dogs, and I didn't realize I wasn't stealth, which is completely unlike me. Right. And that's when the dogs popped out. And then they tried screaming or something. I don't know. But that was a little intense.
Odrin kind of nods. Yeah, I know what you mean. I got pulled for my own hunting party. And he escorts you to where 2 areas have been set up opposite each other. On one side is a large skeletal dragon head.
Well, GG.
So, what did you end up getting yourself?
Dracolich.
Oh, I remember the days of the Dracolich. Well, easy compared to these creatures.
I think Ilya went for impressive looking over anything super challenging.
Are you telling me that 4 giant doggish creature heads and a skeleton head with a crown on it isn't good looking?
I think that we will have to do some work to make this arrangement work. But we can make it happen.
Well, what I was figuring, but I mean, obviously you're talking to the blind man, but you set the 4 heads around, and then on the pedestal in the middle you have the skeleton head with
Skeleton
the
head
crown.
with the crown. Yeah, no, I like how you think. No, that's a good display. I think it's all going to be in the display.
Exactly. Exactly. And they left the blind man to set out the display.
I think everyone else cared about what they were wearing to the wedding.
I guess that's a good point. Not that I could see what I was wearing and whether or not it looked good, but I figure Jozin's gonna Jozin.
Jozin's gonna Jozin. You hear him start to prepare the area and set up your display for you all.
So I take it it's like, is it separated by
Yeah,
the
so
parties?
so it's basically like on the left, you know, like there's like an easy up sort of situation.
Yep.
There's a medieval word for it, but my brain is dead.
I know what you're talking about.
That has like the Draco Lich skull underneath it, which has been kind of adorned and prettified. Not that you'd smell like the flowers and stuff around it.
Right.
And then on your side, there is another display being set up of 4 howlers' heads and the skull, and in the center of the four heads, the skull of the lich that you all killed.
And then I take it, and then so is like one place for ceremony, and then other places for party, like we'd look at it nowadays.
Probably. What you do see a path kind of running between these two. Like you probably
Gotcha.
have to walk through these.
Gotcha. So, what is it exactly that we're supposed to do? We're just supposed to sit and be quiet. We know what we do, correct?
That's what normally happens at weddings.
I don't know. I've never been to one. I've lived out in the woods for a long time. I don't know. I'll just go sit out back, right?
You want to start sitting now? I mean, you'll get the best seats.
I don't know. I can hear from pretty solid distance away, so easiest spot to escape would be the back seats. That sounds perfect to me.
Fair enough. He walks you through the this pair of displays, and to there's a large stone dais in like the middle of a kind of a wooded clearing, and around it, like all 360 around, there have been benches and chairs put out.
Is there anybody else around, or is it just essentially people setting up, like butlers and stuff like that?
Mostly servants setting up. Some people's kind of, you see a few younger people even putting out like lanterns and some sort of arcane. You don't see it actually. Never mind.
I can hear it.
You can hear the whispering of arcane muttering, as well as the lighting of, smell the lighting of lanterns, paper lanterns that are being lit and set up. So.
Yeah, so Jocelyn would he would probably see if there's anything that he could do to help, being of the arcane himself. Probably follow Odrin around to do that, whatever, however Odrin's helping set up.
Sure. Odrin seems to be primarily seeing to the arrangement of the arcane lights, and making sure they don't overpower what moonlight is going to be seen in the clearing. But so that not everyone's sitting in the dark either.
Gotcha. And Jocelyn would probably help with that, even though he'd probably assist with turning on the lights, and then Odrin could come back and
adjust him. Yeah.
And that's what Jasmine will do until everybody's ready to sit down, and then he will quickly rush to get his perfect seat.
Awesome. All right, wedding party. Everyone's getting ready. Cure, you find a trunk that has presumably your outfit in it. It is marked with it actually looks like heraldry design for you, very similar to what you had Odrin put on your shield after your falling out with the Raven Queen.
Okay. So kind of like Ilya's symbol, but in a different colors.
Yeah. Ilya's symbol, different colors. Appears to be for you.
I really need to find out who's making these things. I take a moment to be kind of confounded that someone has been like moving behind the scenes and arranging all these things for her. Like, she's always felt like she wasn't so enamored with royalty that she like noticed servants who are moving, coming and going, but now she's starting to wonder, just, have I become that person? Do I just not notice people doing things for me anymore?
For what it's worth, these were left for you before you entered the shower, so like it wasn't that someone stealthed in,
like,
but
it's more like she's worried that she didn't pay attention before, and like someone's been like measuring her and like drawing up sketches when she was in the room, and she just like never noticed. But as she has that momentary existential crisis, she's going to open the chest and take a look at what was presented for her.
Sure. So inside, there is an open-fronted gown very similar to what you wore in Rex Syndrome. But this one is actually white. It is in a cream color, so it wouldn't offset your skin. Embroidered with... This thing's heavy. It's got some jewel work on it and some gold work on it. This is a wedding dress. This is definitely nicer than what you wore in Rex Syndrome. And there's 2 sets of clothes that can go under it. There is a set of pants, boots, and formal gear like that. There's also it looks like what's a front panel that would complete the gown.
I kind of, I assume that there's a place I can lay the clothing down to, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
kinda stretch
Yeah.
it out. Yeah. So I'll do that, and I'll put down the 2 outfits and kind of look between them and give it far more consideration than I would have given it before, and kind of furrow my brow at the amount of consideration I'm giving it, and then after a moment's hesitation decide to go for the panel over the trousers.
Okay. Skjor gets into her dress, and everyone else gets prepared and ready. Jocelyn.
I'm here.
People start to make their way to the clearing, taking seats here and there. You hear instruments start as a formal procession makes their way in. With, looks like Ilya, Talia, Alina, and Vex.
Oh boy. Yeah, so Jocelyn would probably actually take a seat up front, just due to the fact that, I mean, he's a part of the party of Cure, so, but before then, you said Ilya came in, right?
Yep.
Jocelyn would probably go up to Ilya And he would say, "Well, I guess congratulations are in order.
I suppose so.
I see. I hear that you guys slain a Draco Lich."
Yes, we had one. We had been tracking one for a bit. It was a good excuse to get rid of it.
Yes. An easy foe. An easy foe to take care of course. We may have ran into a little bit of trouble ourselves, but, being who we are, handle ourselves well.
She nods a little bit, grinning. She's definitely in a good mood. Hopefully good trouble.
You know, the usual. The usual. Johnson gives her a hug and he says, "But really, I'm honestly happy for you."
She gives you a hug back. Long time in the making. Happy to make everything formal.
All I have to say is about time. I was wondering what you two were waiting for. You two act like, we've been gone for a long period of time, hunting undead creatures across the lands.
We had to make sure everything was perfect.
Indeed. Indeed. I think this is a perfect moment. Well, I'm going to go take a seat. I bid you good luck. He kind of smiles and walks away. Not wanting to take up much more of her time.
Yeah.
He knows she's busy. And then you take a seat up front on what he would assume is your side.
There seems to be no particular sides at this wedding. It seems like whatever style they chose. It's all mixed together. Everyone's together.
Johnson smack dab in the middle then. And every time someone goes to sit in the seat next to him, he's like, this side and this side's taken. Waiting for his
Like
own
he's
party.
saving the seats. And
Yeah.
Yep. Johnson knows what he's doing. And he knows nobody's going to fuck with him either.
No, not Johnson.
Yeah, and then he just sit down and just calmly wait for his party to arrive.
You see Uriel kind of take a formal position next to Ilya. And those in the tent. A young woman sticks her head in. Almost ready for the procession, maybe?
Is V still digging through the trunk in search of things? Oh! Wow. I guess
No,
not.
V's done with the trunk. He's got an outfit.
Damn, good work, V.
Oh.
Nice. V's wearing, you want to read out loud what you're wearing?
V's got silver embroidered dark blue robes over a light blue tunic and dark gray trousers, silver tipped black boots, and he's found some gauzy navy fabric to attach to the outside of the silver cloak so that it's not quite so blinding in the sunlight. And he's got his hair in complicated braids across the top and then loose. And he's currently got a mirror that he's staring at. I'm not sure if this is a hand mirror or something bit
Probably,
bigger.
yeah.
He's contemplating makeup and etc. Because, Macklin's got all of his figured out, I'm sure.
Then I guess that changes our plan to just 29 stealth staring at V from across the tent. Utterly flabbergasted.
V looks pretty.
And so we do not respond to ask why we're needed for the procession, which would have been our next move. Tab doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah, the young woman's just waiting for an answer, kind of looking at all of you like...
We have a passive perception of 10 and have not noticed that we're being looked at.
How ready does, well, aside from V, how ready does Tab look?
Tab is much like in when they attended the quorum, is wearing their armor and with their sword at their hip, but has shine like the leather. They have spent the time cleaning and oiling the leather. Like everything is shining up the sword. Like everything is in very good order and looks as good as it can, but it is still a set of although like they have that nice fancy magic leather armor. So yeah, Tab is the goth at the wedding.
Off at the wedding. Hell yeah. Yeah, Macklin's just about ready. He's done his face up. He'll get his hair brushed out, use that wand of prestidigitation a couple times to clean off his own armor. It's a nice set, so he may as well use it. Clean off his cape and kind of sling it over one shoulder. And he's going to put the Rexcentrum rapier on display at his hip, and make sure that the Zenian ring is on his good hand, not behind the cape. Kind of like almost a regalia type of look.
Yep. Very, very old school. Old nobility.
Old money, yeah. And Cure is like sequestered off in like her own part of the tent, right?
Yeah, like there's draping up, but...
You hear me shuffling around in the next room.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're all set on our end. Tab, V. Oh, you look great.
V is like finishing up eyeliner. Yeah, done.
And look Tab over. Having been working on Tab with makeup and such, the transition is not as jarring. Jarring? Not as impressive. It's like, well, yeah, we went through this. Looks good. It's great.
I saw all of the process steps, so it's not as like...
Yeah.
Also, we literally are just a slightly fancied up version of what Macklin sees every single day. So
No, just cleaning up good. Quick question. How is Tab with facial hair?
Tab does not have facial hair, and Tab canonically doesn't have. It has a buzz cut, but I think since the drawing, the Heather's drawing now has like the little Tintin forelock. But yeah, Tab has very little hair, any visible hair anywhere really.
Tab has just enough to have a little swoop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's
otherwise still
nothing
mostly
to clean up.
Yeah, there's really not.
Nothing to trim. Nothing to shave.
I think we're good on our end. Cure, are you knocking around furniture over there?
I could use your assistance for a moment.
Pause and nod toward the woman who poked her head in.
Give us like 5 minutes.
Alright, I'll tell Master Heenan. And she ducks off.
All right. I'll look toward my companions one more time, and without any pomp or circumstance, just go through the veil to the other side.
Yeah. Cure is wearing a gown with a train, covered in, looks like crystals, gems, pearls. This thing is definitely the queen consort's bridal gown.
Whoa.
also very lightly make-upped, and I'm like standing in front of the makeup mirror with everything up, and I'm looking at Macklin helplessly.
Oh.
I will help Cure touch up their face, make sure that their hair is put together, cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure there's no like glaring seams sticking out.
This is fine. You look fine. Everything's quite good.
I feel like I'm gearing up for a battle I don't know how to fight.
Well, yes, that's essentially what marriage is.
Oh, wonderful.
You've never shied away from a fight before.
That is fair enough.
You'll figure it out like always.
Muddle on through, I suppose.
He shrugs a bit. Well, considering that you are pairing yourself off with Ilya, you'll be in good company. I imagine you'll both have a lot of muddling and figuring out to do.
That is certainly the truth.
So long as you've got each other's backs and are willing to work through whatever humps come your way, I think you've got a handle on this.
I appreciate that, Macklin. Thank you.
Good, good. As if you were having second thoughts, I mean. Everyone does.
No, not exactly. Not second thoughts about marriage, about ceremony, perhaps.
The pomp and circumstance.
The hunt was a lot more fun than I gave it credit for.
Well, it was simple. Simple enough. Go to the place, kill the thing, bring back the head. A lot more improvisation and a lot less formal steps.
Familiar.
Well, once the ceremony's over, you can get right back to killing, right back into your element. I don't think you or Elia will mind that.
That is certainly true enough. By the way, I would like you to hold on to this for the ceremony, and I'll present Macklin with my bag of holding.
Ah, yes. Best to put that somewhere safe. Yep, he'll fix it to his hip.
Mm-hmm.
It has all my armor and my sword and my shield in there. I figure it wouldn't do to show up to a wedding with a sword strapped to my hip. Or would it be? I'm a little unsure about Rexentrim traditions.
I kind of just pull my cape to the side and show off the fact that I am indeed packing heat, and then shift the cape back over.
You're the queen's wife. Wear whatever the fuck you want.
I purse my lips and I go back over to the trunk just to see, out of curiosity, if there was a fancy sword belt in there.
Yeah, I mean, one's been provided, if you would like to wear your sword.
So that's what that's for. I thought that was what I thought it was, but I didn't think it went...
Oh, heavens help you, you poor child.
I will then retrieve my sword and belt it to my hip and feel much better about myself.
I'll keep the shield on standby.
Macklin, you can roll me a history check if you want.
History, yes, that's a thing that I can do. $23.
23. So, you know a lot about the Rexentrim dynasty, having rolled really well in the past and also, probably done a little bit of poking here and there. Because of the Rexentrim women's tendency to marry well below their station, usually their ceremonies were people were heavily armed during them just to prevent any sorts of assassination attempts or, those sorts of things. Husband stealing happened a lot, where like the the groom would be taken away and attempted to be ransomed off. Is that, like, the Rexentrum princesses usually married like the village blacksmith from 2 towns over. Like they did not as a rule marry other nobility. So it is not uncommon for everyone to be very well armed.
All right.
Especially the wedding party.
It's an old standing tradition to bring your best weapons to a Rexentrum wedding. I don't think now is a good time to break that tradition.
That is reassuring.
I'm not sure if your shield quite matches your dress.
No, I have a feeling there should be a shield bearer for that.
He nods a bit, rubs his chin. With a not shotgun Rexentrum wedding, would it be common for there to be like squires who carry gear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole procession, and you get the feeling that that might have been what the 5-minute warning was about.
Right, I believe your shield bearer came in to give us the 5-minute warning. You can hand that off to her and ensure that it's ready in case the boot drops.
Oh, perfect.
Or just to keep it close for comfort's sake.
In that case, I think I might be ready.
Glad to hear it. He'll clap his hands a couple times, rub them together, give one last look over, and nod sharply. All right. Go get him, Tiger.
Deep breath as I join the others.
Mm-hmm. That's about when Hunan would arrive. He's dressed in his full, like, vestments, and carrying a bouquet of red roses. He smiles at you, Kior. Well, I was supposed to be looking for my little sister, but...
Well, when you find my goofy older brother, please let me know. I'm Oh, Hunan! That's you!
He grins and pulls you into a tight hug.
Didn't recognize you looking so officious.
And you.
I get to keep my sword.
You do. And in that gown, I think you'll outshine both moons. These are yours. And he hands over the bouquet of red roses.
Oh. Where did these come from? Who did these come from? I suppose that's a more important question.
Well, I think it's traditional for brides to carry bouquets.
Is it? I wouldn't know. I've never been married.
If I'm remembering correctly, yes.
Grin a little bit.
All right, so shall we go take a look at your procession?
We're going to lean over towards Macklin and ask very, very quietly, should we go find seats?
How quietly?
I mean 29 stealth. For Macklin's ears only.
Can Macklin's passive pick that up?
Oh, Hunan's can.
3 off of mine. I'm close, but not that good.
I mean, I would hope that we could use that we could
Yeah.
roll to like pitch accordingly so that like Macklin could hear us, but no one else who doesn't have a freakish passive. certainly, if people have a passive of 29, there's nothing we can do about that, and we have
Actually,
this week.
I don't think Hunan's is quite 29. I'll have to double check my note. I don't think it's quite 29. I think it's closer to 25. But yeah, it's gross. Clerics, bro. Insight clerics. Yeah. As you guys leave the tent, you find there's a decent, like probably like 10, 15 people crowding. There's a few musicians, 2 banner carriers, the young woman who had stuck her head in before, kind of just hanging out, waiting, probably for a shield. Let's see, there's 2 banner carriers, 2 musicians, 1 sword bearer, or 1 shield bearer. Yeah, that'll be your procession. So not quite 10 people. And Hunan.
Are the banner carriers carrying like banners in the same design, the same colors as? I just stop for a moment and stare and look at Hunan. Who is making these things? I did not even realize I had a crest until suddenly I had a crest.
You had a crest. Odrin made it. Told Uriel when Uriel started doing wizards. When Uriel started doing wedding things, that's when these things started being made.
It all makes sense now. And I am still astounded at the speed at which they were created.
You might be one Tal'Doris.
Fair point.
2. Uriel has been working on this not Uriel, but this has been worked on since you proposed, I think. Since you, at least the wedding stuff has been worked on since you proposed, most of it. Some of the heraldry stuff didn't come up until, like, you decided on a personal heraldry.
I think I stumbled into it, really.
Ilya had kind of half designed you something, but I think you went in a different direction.
Not intentionally.
Well, do you have a shield? Do you want to give the shield bearer, or?
Oh, yes, it's in the bag.
I pull the shield from the bag.
Okay.
Alley-oop.
Shield's probably as big as Macklin is.
Yeah, it's not that much smaller than the young woman who takes it, but she kind of gives you a sharp nod and takes her place. The banners, so a banner on either side and your shield in the middle. Then the 2 musicians line up. Hunan kind of looks at your party. Do you all want to process in, or do you want to run ahead and steal seats?
I'll look at my companions. I think it would be appropriate to process in, follow the parade, and be there. What say you all?
We sort of are sort of catching on as he's talking. Is there a clear place to, like, is there sort of has the procession begun to assemble, or is it just sort of a mass of people?
No, okay. The bannermen lined up, the shield bearer lined up, the musicians lined up. Okay. So I would assume that you guys would be processing behind them, but in front of Kior and Hunan.
Where do we go?
That's a good question.
Be the Hunan, assuming he's going to know.
Hunan kind of smiles, lets go of Kior's arm, and like puts you in like Macklin first, then Tab, then V.
We trade places with V.
just to break up the height line.
You don't know.
Sure.
We
And
should
then-
probably send a runner for Josen as well.
Right. You see him kind of motion to the shield bearer. Shield bearer puts down the shield, hands it to a bannerman, or runs off. Josen, you're kind of hanging out. People are gathering. And someone kind of stands next to you, panting a little bit. Sir, do you want to process in with the bride?
Is she requesting me to?
She sent me to get you. I don't know if that's requesting or not.
Jozen, so Jozen gets up like that old man get up.
Very.
Asking a blind man and an old man to walk down an aisle. That's just shivering. And he walks off as he's mumbling to himself.
Yeah, the shield maiden stays pretty close to you. Doesn't want to lose you. Apparently, was sent with a job. And you arrive to find most everyone's lined up, almost in order of height, but not quite. Your shield maiden picks up the shield again, takes her spot again.
I'm speaking quietly to Hunan. So I haven't had a chance to tell you, but I found another relative while we were overseas, and the situation is difficult, but I might have some news.
Johnson does that. You are just perfect with time. The man's only supposed to be doing, your wedding for you.
Everything is happening very quickly.
We should just walk her down the aisle now so we can get this over with so she doesn't start breaking the news to the entire group of people out there. I got her brother!
They're not going to start without her.
You
Are
never
they?
know.
Hunan laughs. No, they wouldn't start without her.
But you probably don't want to keep Ilya waiting.
No.
That seems dangerous.
Yes.
Jozen and Macklin do that nod at the same time. So who's walking her down the aisle? Am I walking her? Macklin, are you walking her?
I think I have that honor, Hunan
You-
says.
Really.
You're a person with words, Cure. A person with your words. Macklin, would you mind leading me down the aisle?
Ah, of course.
Are you getting married too?
No, I'm blind.
That doesn't mean you can't get married. You live in a progressive age,
That
Johnson.
doesn't mean you can't.
Tab has opened their mouth and closes it.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Are you offering, Macklin?
Unfortunately, Johnson, I'm a one-woman kind of man.
You're not supposed to propose at someone else's wedding. It's very rude. We've heard.
Wait, does that mean there's a woman?
But it hasn't started yet. So if you want to propose, now's the time.
Are we moving? Walking? Yes, we're walking.
The people in front of us aren't walking yet, so we can't walk. We're listening.
It's also evident that the longer this goes on, the more fidgety and talkative Cure is becoming.
Fine, they won't start without you.
Alright,
Yeah.
so is the party traveling 2x2, 2-1-1? What are y'all doing?
2x2 makes sense.
We are
If we get
doing
it.
whatever we are told to do, or whatever is indicated we should do.
Sure. I just.
I mean, Johnson brings us to an even number, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so Macklin joins up with Jozen. And V and Tab fall into line together. As Hunan motions to musicians, music begins playing, and the procession starts.
This procession is feeding all of these shippers' wildest dreams.
True fact.
You have shippers?
I should hope
Someday.
so.
I mean, most of them are in this room right now.
Well, yeah, and in 8 million years when I turn this into like some weird graphic novel.
Hello.
You should all know
Oh.
that the player of the Coasties Rogue is very disappointed in us all for not having better costume descriptions. V gets passed, though.
Everyone but V.
Oh. Yeah, I just don't have a head for it.
It's fine. She's disappointed in me, too. So we are processing.
Processing, yes. Music plays. Hunan kind of lets everyone get some space in between so we could kind of have a quiet conversation with you, Kiora, as you head up to the aisle. You know, if you need to run, I can make it happen.
I could just teleport you out of here if you really want.
Jaws says from like 50 feet away.
I use message.
Oh, okay, good.
I am not running away anywhere unless my wife is with me.
I can make that happen too.
God damn it, Jazzy.
Whisper to V. Is she already married? She can't get married again if she already has a wife. Or maybe she can. We don't know the rules here.
Part of the ceremony.
That's very confusing.
It's probably politics.
We look disappointed and a little bored and carry on.
Hunan kind of grins at the chaos. I think I should be disappointed she didn't finish her task before marrying you, but I understand the rush.
I'm sure she'll find a way to make it up to you. Maybe once trading resumes, we can get a whole shipment of chocolate for your sweet tooth.
That'd be nice.
It would. I could go for some chocolate myself.
I've mostly been keeping it in my office, so
It's probably a bad idea in this dress anyway.
probably.
I feel exposed. I'm not exposed, am I?
I mean, you're a little exposed in that you're the center of attention and not wearing any armor.
Oh dear God.
But that's what you're supposed to be at your wedding.
I haven't felt this way since they had me sing in the hymnal back in training at the Temple of the Raven Queen.
Well, don't worry, it's not for long. I think that Uriel's planning a pretty short service for you all.
That's a good lad.
As you walk forward, you walk through there's an archway of, it looks like it was made from fallen leaves. And on either side, on your left, the skull of a Dracolich. On your right, on a pedestal, the skull of a Lich King, surrounded by the heads of Howlers.
She found a Draco Lich.
Shh.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
We do whisper to V. We have to go back out. She found the dragon. We have to go find the dragon. Or two, maybe two. We can go find Vecna.
That might have to be an anniversary thing.
Which anniversary is that?
Oh, their anniversary. I think it might take us a while to track one down.
We decide to save explaining different anniversaries,
Have a different.
getting different gifts for when we are not in the middle of the procession.
All right, as you head forward, you see the group waiting on the dais. I'll go left to right. First is a young woman, just kind of dressed in like a blue and gold livery, very very plain, but carrying a baby, a blue baby, dressed in a long, kind of almost creamy white gown, trimmed in blue and gold. Blue baby. To her right is a Alina, who has been cleaned up, is not wearing a dress, is wearing a long tunic and pants, has a small short sword on her hip, as hair kind of pulled back. She's wearing a small circlet, in formal clothes, blue and gold. To her right, almost in oddly monochrome, is Talia, who is wearing silver, silver, black, and white. Her white hair is kind of pulled back into a fancy French knot. She's wearing her own crown of obsidian. Yes, her hair is back to white now. no longer red.
Cure was going to ask about that.
And then Ilya, who is wearing pants, knee-high, like patent leather boots, pants, blue pants with gold trim on the side, formal long tunic in blue and gold, as well as a fiery crown of flames. And she smiles at you as you approach. She takes a step forward. Everyone kind of parts to settle in their seats as Huden kind of smiles and hands you off to Ilya.
Have you ever seen a more ostentatious wedding party?
Ilya thinks for a moment. Maybe.
Really?
I was a princess once upon a time. I do a bunch of weddings.
Fair point.
This is my favorite, though.
Have to admit it's the best I've ever gone to.
She smiles, leads you to Uriel, who's standing. He's also in his full formal vestments, also wearing a circlet, much like Alina's. And he grins at you both. Ready to get married?
Yes.
Ilya nods.
Fidget.
Fidget. As you say your vows, the clouds kind of part above you, and you see both moons are in the sky, fairly close to each other. You swear your vows to each other. Then Uriel kind of looks to the crowd. Anyone have any objections to why these two should not be wed? Crowd shifts awkwardly. I'm giving the party a minute for anyone to pipe up if they want to.
Nope, we already clarified for us that Kiora is not in fact already married, so it's fine.
Nice.
We'd all like to keep our heads.
Smart.
I like the state of the crowd.
Sure. You want to take a look at the crowd?
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check.
Sure.
As I'm assuming you're kind of doing like a stealthy like look around type deal, like during the
Yeah,
vows.
like,
So the vows are very quiet. Like they're really only meant for the people on the dais to hear.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do a perception check.
See what Gren's doing in the
It's
audience.
a nat 20.
Woo! For a total of 36.
Sure. So you see, obviously the Taldores are there. Everyone's being, pretty on their best behavior. It's on the edges of the crowd that you see oddness, and not like maleficent. Maleficent isn't the right word.
Malevolent.
Malevolent. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, it's been a day. Not malevolent oddness, but just like you see a very tall woman kind of hanging in the tree line, watching.
Wait, is that the lady from the Feywild?
You see, occasionally just a couple of people moving about back and forth in the woods that don't move like humans, but more like fawns. Yeah, with your natural 20, you see Vodder is at this wedding.
All right. Do I see? Basically, what I want to check is like, who's got beef? Who has a problem with this? Who is potentially going to become an enemy for this? Sorry, not an enemy. A potential problem in the future.
Yeah.
But it seems that we have foreign guests who are approving, or at the very least, just interested.
Very least interested, maybe working on something. Who knows? They are definitely attending. They're definitely in attendance. Hard to say how or why.
Okay.
As far as scanning the crowd, you see a couple of people, like, I wouldn't say, like, mad about it. Like, none of this is a surprise. Like, there's definitely at least, like, one, like, prissy-looking, noblewoman who's like, should have been me. Type deal. But it's more out of a title than, like, any sort of love match. Yeah, no. But that's who you see with the natural 20. Looking with your eyes.
Special eyes.
It's your special eyes.
Okay.
It's your crazy ass eyes. Alright. Uriel kind of smiles, nods. Kind of does the motion of the Raven Queen over you, which is a bit odd coming from a priest of Saren, right? But it's a mixed marriage.
Makes me smile nonetheless.
And kind of inclines his head. May love and laughter light your days and warm your heart and home. May good and faithful friends be yours wherever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless the world with joy that long endures. And may life's all passing seasons bring best to you and yours. And you may kiss your bride.
I do so.
Yeah. Passionate kiss. Cheers go up. And Ilya grins at you. I believe we have a judging to go to. And you see Alina bolts back down the aisle to go check out what you have brought her.
Important question. What shoes is she wearing?
She's wearing so Alina definitely got to pick her own outfit and is wearing.
Awesome.
She's wearing I don't want to say boys' clothes because it's not quite but she's in formal gear, but it's not dresses and gowns.
Fabulous. Cap is delighted for her.
Much like her mother Ilya, who is dressed in formal pants and almost like a military style uniform. Alina is not dressed in a gown, and is in fact wearing knee-high boots.
Good work, Alina.
As she takes off tearing, and you just see Ilya just kind of, Alina, you have to wait for everyone else.
And she's off.
And she's gone. As the formality of and the kind of formal spell of the wedding itself breaks and everyone starts, chatting and moving around. Music begins playing. It looks like the instruments, your musicians have found a spot in a corner to begin playing. Joined by a few others. As everyone, I assume, heads to the judging.
Absolutely. We need to know who wins.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta know who wins the wedding. So,
Cure's pretty much in a daze at this point.
I am gonna roll a d20, and Cure, Mish, you're gonna roll me a d20.
Oh boy.
Better roll that 20.
I'm gonna break out the real dice for this.
Sounds good.
Don't use the bad real dice, use the good real dice.
I rolled in chat so everyone can see what I got.
Yeah, plenty of space to win.
Yeah. This has not been called yet.
I actually have a purple and blue Cure dice that I'm going to roll for this.
Nice.
Cure's fate
Please
die.
roll one. Please get shit on this.
Whew! For a moment, it kind of flicked over to the one, but it continued on to a solid 17.
17. Nice. So, you guys catch up with Alina, who is next to Hunan. Hunan looks like Cotter, and both are carefully pondering the choice in front of them, as Alina was not quite comfortable choosing by herself. A little too much pressure. You see Hunan kind of pick Alina up, and they whisper to each other conspiratorially. Before Hunan nods again. Looks to your group. Alina would like to know if she gets to keep the crown.
So long as she doesn't wear it.
Have we had a chance to identify it?
We have not.
Also, wants to be certain that it's not cursed.
After it has been appropriately cleansed,
We were just like elbowing V. Can you identify it now? Then we'll know.
V, can you identify it now?
V's kind of I just wanted to know the results, but I'm fine. I'll
But
try.
we want to. If we can win, then we should win. And if we can, if that will help us win, then you should identify it now. We think, if you can.
You realize there are perfectly capable wizards here?
Not as capable as you.
Okay, V's going to walk up to this crown and cast Identify.
Sure. It is a crown. It is made of silver. It does not have any magical properties.
We elbow V again, waiting to hear what he found.
So far as I'm currently finding, it's a silver crown with no overt magical properties, but honestly, it was owned by undead and still have it cleansed.
Maybe undead things just like to be stylish too.
Actually, excuse me, one moment. I'm going to step away from Ilya to approach the crown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to touch it and murmur a short prayer to the Raven Queen and cast Remove Curse, just in case.
Good idea. Good idea.
Solid.
Solid. You feel something's kind of like a faint, thin thread snap under your fingers.
Aha!
V looks at Cure like, what just happened?
I think it's safe now. It's perfectly fine.
Alina kind of grins brightly. So I can have the Lich Crown?
We are squinting at Kiora. Can we tell, like, we would like to insight check that it's perfectly fine?
Yes.
Not great, 22.
She left off the now. It's perfectly fine now.
But the it's perfectly fine part is true, even if it would not have been true a few moments ago.
True to Cure's understanding of it, yes.
Delightful. Yeah, I don't think we've been told to not. We've been we are trying to not interfere with Cure's parenting. So we will say nothing else, because it's perfectly fine now.
As Alina bounces. This is in the bag. As long as she gets to keep the Lich King's crown.
Cure's looking satisfied.
Ilya nods to you. It's your choice, sweetheart. It's your hunt.
Will the crown fit? That Skeleman did have a very large head.
Alina looks mildly offended. I don't want to wear it. That's gross.
What else are you going to do with the crown?
Keep it as a trophy.
I do like
Yes,
that
sir.
idea much better than the other.
Contemplative nod. The kid's going to be all right. Kingslayer in the making.
Hopefully not.
Not local kings. Distant kings.
Distant kings,
possibly.
maybe.
I mean, there's no kings this side of the ocean, so, you know.
Alright. Cure, are you going to give her the crown?
Oh, yes, yes. Having removed something, I'm going to pick it up and present it to Alina. Checking something real quick. Oh yeah, just in case, even though V said it was good, as I'm presenting it, I'll say another prayer, make it sound like elaborate as I'm speaking Celestial, and cast Dispel Magic on it, just in case.
Just in case. Sure thing. If there was magic on it, it sure is no magic on it now.
I present to you the Lich King's crown.
She takes it and smiles and just grins at it. That little kid grin that you're like, I don't want to know what's going on behind those eyes. And smiles. You win. And
Now, little fist pump.
takes the crown and puts it in a bag really quick.
Excellent. I believe this means we get our first choice of cake.
Ilya kind of nods. Yes. I
And
believe
that's
that
all.
you do.
Is that all we get? We only get cake.
What more could you want? I suppose it depends if the cake is good. Be a very bad wedding if the cake wasn't good, though, so I'm sure it's good.
This cake better be the best damn cake I've ever had.
Macklin, with your passive, you notice Talia finds something about that amusing.
About what Jocelyn said?
About Jocelyn saying this better be the best damn cake I've ever had.
Huh.
Was I supposed to make the cake?
No, I've got it handled.
Oh, perfect.
Talia grins. All right, shall we go get something to eat?
Sounds like a splendid idea.
Fantastic. Everything should be switched over by now.
Switched over.
For the party.
Switched over?
She just smiles and leads the way. Back to the dais where you had been before.
The place where we had gotten married?
Yeah. The big stone dais.
Did they like bring in a bunch of chairs and stuff?
No, the chairs have all been moved from around the dais and have been set up, and there's tables set up. There's a band playing. Some of the musicians you recognize, some you do not. Food has been set out. 2 very large creatures, probably elk of some sort, have been roasted, and and are being served by 2 halflings? Question mark, question mark, question mark. The woman who you recognize as Vodder appears to be normal height. I mean, she's still tall. She's still a little taller than Cure. Kind of smiles as you all approach, as Alina approaches.
Now that she's kind of in the open, do I see and recognize her?
Oh yeah, you see her.
I do a double take and then start doing a double take at the halflings and musicians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your wedding has a fae infestation.
Am I reading this right that they're kind of like glamored?
A little glamored, yeah. To not freak the
glamored,
normies, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But you can definitely like see through. Like having been in the Feywild before, having been to this a similar party before, you know when you're looking at a brownie and when you're looking at a halfling.
Yeah.
Seems our friends in the Grey Hunt have dressed for the occasion.
Oh. And we're walking over to Vada right now?
Yeah.
As we approach, I'm going to give a little... I go to bow, then realize I'm in a dress and do kind of an awkward curtsy. Slight, not deep.
You see Talia kind of joined Vodder. No bows, no curtsies, just kind of joins next to her. Gives her a smile. You did a wonderful job, thank you. Vodder grins. Well, favor for a favor.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, my lady.
Vodder actually gives you a curtsy. Not a deep one, but one. Happy to be invited.
Cure does not regret showing appropriate deference to the Fae.
Probably not a terrible plan. People are starting to eat. Food and plates are being passed around, and Vodder motions. Now please, enjoy your wedding feast. From my hand freely given.
Well,
Into all
we
hands
shall.
gratefully accepted. Let the feasting commence.
Let the feasting commence. There's food. There is food with a capital F. And there's wine. Ilya kind of...
Oh, of course.
Ilya stays close to you, Cure, and you notice that she doesn't drink. She kind of takes a deep breath. Uriel said that he was planning the ceremony, and Talia immediately said that if he laid hands on the wedding reception, she'd murder him and put him in hide him in pieces across the different planes. So I imagine that this is what Talia had in mind for us.
This is Talia's doing.
I have not had a chance to plan the wedding. I left it to the kids, and this is what Talia did.
Is she nearby or hanging out with Vodder?
She appears to be hanging out with Vodder.
Insight check.
Sure. 19. She seems to be comfortably drinking a glass of wine with Vodder and chatting with her.
Purse my lips a little bit.
Perhaps even in a very friendly way.
Shrug a little bit. Fascinating.
Ilya kind of laughs. I've been afraid to ask too many questions about that.
Should we be concerned?
I wouldn't be. I mean, I would be. I'm always a little concerned. She is my daughter, but... I mean... Vodder seems... fine for a Fae. And
I'll nod a little bit.
Talia is Queen of the Shadowfell.
Huh. I just lean back a little bit and kind of contemplate that as feasting begins to happen.
Sure. What's everybody else doing? See, V is drinking.
Yes.
V, this doesn't even taste like alcohol. It just tastes like amazing, amazing apple cider. A little hint of cinnamon to it.
Well, that's dangerous.
Even better.
Oh, Kior is going to get so drunk.
And it's clear, too, so it's not even, like, got, like, the chunky bits in it. It's just clear, beautiful apple cider cinnamon. You're not sure why everyone was calling this alcohol, even. This is nothing.
Did anyone explicitly tell me it was alcohol, or did
Yes,
I,
someone
like,
did
see
warn
the shape
you.
of a
Yeah.
bottle and assume?
I mean, someone did warn you, yes, that...
Kind of them.
They probably would have called it apple wine, for what it's worth. Everyone needs a drink.
I already have cider, so that's fine. I think well, it's too bad that John stepped away for a second because I think we are haunting Jocelyn's steps, waiting to find out if this is in fact the best cake that he's ever had. We don't know if we're allowed to sample the cake yet, so that might become a roadblock. But we are just sort of following Jocelyn around, waiting to see his impression of the cake whenever that becomes a thing.
Sure.
I know there were musicians. Is there music yet?
There is music, yes. And
Is there
some people
dancing
are
yet?
dancing, yes.
Okay. Well, we will continue to follow Jocelyn around until we hear what Jocelyn is doing.
Sure.
But we are definitely considering the dancing as well.
Macklin, what are you up to?
I've been thinking. Not really coming up with much though, so I think Macklin's gonna find a nice tree.
Mm-hmm.
Take a spot somewhere high up and just watch things as they proceed.
Sure.
To get a bird's eye view and just keep an eye on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Take it all in from a comfortable distance.
Sure. After a moment, after a couple of moments, as you're kind of just enjoying the view, you do see someone kind of lean against the tree nonchalantly, sipping a glass of wine, as Ava also takes a break from the crowd.
Well, hello down there.
Well, hello up there.
Had enough people for the day?
Just observing. It is not very often you get invited to a wedding ceremony of royalty, especially one of my type. And not only that, there are fey creatures about.
Friends in low places, high places? Hard to say with a fair stand.
I think that they excel at all of the places.
They certainly get around. It's a better view up here.
Then I'll join you. You see
The
her.
lift?
I'll happily take a lift. I am not very good at climbing. Or anything requiring much physical exertion. Not in this form, anyway.
All right. I will pull out a length of rope and very carefully tie a few knots at about chest height for grabbing,
Mhm.
and loop up some footholds in Lower Town.
Yeah, easy enough. You're a roger.
I'm a roger.
This is in your
Roger.
wheelhouse. Yeah, and she definitely uses the footholds and handholds and knots to climb her way up.
I'll brace it and see if I can kind of winch her up slowly but surely.
Yeah, you give her a boost to help. And she makes her way up. Not disgracefully.
Careful. It's a long way down. Well, for me, it's a shorter fall for you. It's the same fall, but
You see that she's actually wearing a dress.
I don't think I've seen you without an apron on.
First time for everything, I suppose. I decided to air more formal.
He rubs his chin and looks her over a bit and nods. It's a nice change of pace.
I like your eyeliner.
Thank you. I did it myself. And with a Rexentrum wedding, there should be a bit of formality, even if it's a little tongue-in-cheek.
I like this one. This is a good wedding, I think. For being royal, I suppose.
For being royal.
Talia asked me to come. And since I was already helping Holly and Molly with the cake, she just kind of shrugs.
Oh, I thought you were a cook, not a cook.
I'm a competent baker. And your friend Elsie helped me a little bit. And she kind of reaches into her pocket and produces Elsie.
Pet the pseudo dragon with vigor.
And you see she was curled up in like an upper coat pocket, like a lapel pocket. And she is happy to get pet. She kind of like stirs and wakes up and does the like cat long stretch thing.
Look at you doing your best. And it seems Talia has a way of getting people to do things.
I mean, this particular favor is, not hard to guess.
He nods. I merely mean to say she has a odd tendency to make friends, despite everything. The ashy exterior, the quiet demeanor. For someone who spent so much time in the Shadowfell and had suffered so much, it seems she has a natural draw to her. She's an interesting one.
She is.
I'm certainly glad to be on her good side.
That I am as well. I have not seen her bad side.
He kind of wavers his hand a little bit.
I think Tab has seen it. I think I saw it at one point. Of course, she wasn't in her right head at the time. But, she is good with the blade.
Yes, especially that one.
Especially that one.
It's been a bit since I've seen that sword.
You know of its history?
I do. That is the Sword of Cass.
A sort of what now?
The Sword of Cass.
Is that something that the layman would just know about?
Layman, no, but you can roll me a history check. You've been researching Vecna.
Yeah, sure. He's my favorite enemy.
He is your favorite enemy.
Can I roll 2 history checks?
You can roll 2 history checks. You roll
2 history
advantage.
I'll take that. Second roll, absolutely. That's going to be 24.
Sir. The Sword of Cass is a sentient black longsword. Singularly focused on destroying Vecna and his followers.
Huh.
However, does have some, it's not a good sword. It's chaotic evil.
Well, I suppose the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but that seems like a very dangerous ally to have in your sheath.
It is a good thing that Uriel and Keenan are keeping a close eye on her for now.
It is a good thing indeed. Might explain why that sword hurts like hell as well.
Part of it. She is also a trained swordswoman, so. She was the champion of the Raven Queen before, after, in her own timeline. By the way, I already know about her being Alina and all that.
Oh, good then. At this point, I can't quite remember who has been told, who hasn't, and who shouldn't.
Probably best to wait to tell Alina when she's older.
Yes, that one. I think that information is a little bit too complex for her right now. Maybe once she gets a better understanding of being the people.
Speaking of, where is Alina?
Alina, the little one? Where did she go?
I tried to keep an eye on her. She's always good to fun for watching.
I'm going to cup my hand to my brow and see if I can't figure out a grab.
Sure. Roll a perception check.
I would guess it's probably coming from his brows, but that's going to be a 26.
26. She'd be easy to miss because she seems like she's put on a green cloak, which kind of helps her blend in with the background almost. She seems to be stalking something through the grass on the outskirts of the area.
Is anyone paying attention to this little hellion? Or has she, like, shaken off attention? Is she by herself?
She appears to be by herself for the moment.
Oh. Yeah, she is always good for a watch entertainment. You any good at moving through treetops?
Not in this form.
Not in this form, right.
I could shift into something, and she kind of motions to Elsie. Similar.
He weighs his hands a little bit and kind of winces. Perhaps you should, if you'd excuse me, I'm just going to, being alone sets me on edge. There's lots of bad things out there, and she's quite small. I'll be right back.
Alright. Okay.
And, Mackin's gonna break up this nice moment.
Go chase after Alina.
Just keep track on her.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
She shot a lich.
Alina is very aware of her own skills, even if everyone else is not ready for her to prove them yet.
Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a time to lure a child away, to isolate them and steal them, now would be that time.
Yeah. Sure. Stalking her through the trees? Or on the treetops?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Easy enough. You almost kind of lose her at sometimes, but you've got laser focus, and you definitely do not want her to be lured away.
This kid's gonna be a real problem when she gets expertise.
Really is. She seems to be trying to follow something through the grass.
I would imagine it would be something small if it's in the grass.
It is something small.
Is it possible to get a look at it? Can I attempt to perceive it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's not a crit, but really good. 35.
35. It almost looks like a strange, bunch of flowers kind of moving around. It's definitely hard to... Its form doesn't seem to make sense. It's definitely wearing some sort of camouflage.
Okay. Flowers. Probably Fae. I don't know if it sets me on edge or puts me at ease. God damn it.
It's Fae, so yes.
So yes, either on edge or at ease. Because... Alright.
Let's roll for the hunt, shall we? Ooh, that's not great. Oh, that is good. You see, suddenly, as Alina kind of stealths up, like a cat, really, kneels down a little bit, gets in position, and then pounces, wrangling whatever this is into a grapple. Kind of coming up, and you see she is holding a small dragon creature. Appears to be a fairy dragon.
All right, cool. Macklin breathes a heavy sigh of relief. And he's going to let sleeping dogs lie on that one. Make his way back to the branches of Ava.
I will put a picture in chat. Or not in chat. I'll put it out right there. Boom.
It's a baby.
It is a baby.
Ooh.
She tackles it to the ground. It very quickly escapes her grasp and immediately starts slowly enough with your passive insight that you can tell that it is clearly playing with her,
Mm-hmm.
and it continues to stalk through the grass.
All right, it's again catch.
Yeah, they're playing
Tag?
some weird game of tag.
There we go. All right, I'll stop Mama Henning at this point. Helicopter uncle.
Helicopter uncle. I mean, if anyone needs a helicopter. Alright. Tab. You were following Jazin?
We sure were following Jazin.
Jazin, what you up to?
I mean, I guess we'll see if we're following Jazin, but we're following Jazin at least long enough to find out what he's doing. Oh no, is Jazin falling asleep again?
Is Jazin muted?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he said he was back. But maybe something else happened.
Is Jazin muted?
Did he pass away from old age at the wedding?
Oh.
Oh no.
That's the highest CR creature of them all. Natural causes.
Rebecca knows. All these liches know.
I kind of want to play a villain whose whole shtick is, well, fuck you, I'm going to outlive you anyway. I'm not going to cause problems. I'm not going to steal your bride. I'm going to wait for you to become 99, breathe on you, you'll fall over, then I win.
The smartest lich.
The long game.
I guess we eventually get bored following Jazin around because he's not doing anything.
Yeah, it looks like
Sorry, I
Oh!
stepped away for a
Oh,
second.
no worries. Welcome back. We were hoping Jazin hadn't passed away from old age at the wedding. So, I'm
Still
glad
might
that
be
doesn't seem to be
possible.
what happened. I mean, yeah, but not off camera. It seems like it's happened on camera. So yeah, Tab was following Jazin around to see if he did anything interesting. / sample what he thought of the cake.
What did I think of the cake?
cake has not been served yet. First, they are serving some large roast feast. Potatoes, carrots, lots of root vegetables cooked in rosemary and thyme. This is hearty harvest. Harvest lunch, dinner.
I mean, what does an old man do at a wedding? Broods in the corner.
Birds in the corner. I mean, there's dancing happening.
Nope, definitely not a Jocelyn thing.
Alina seems to be chasing something on the edges of the outskirts of the of the reception.
Alina seems to be chasing something on the outskirts of the reception.
Yeah.
It's just a kid being a kid.
At least we know who's the helicopter in our group.
Two different types of uncles.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jocelyn would probably grab something to eat and then talk to whoever talks to him. I feel like he's the old guy that people come up, oh, how you doing? Yeah, get away from me. and then they get away from him. And then the next one, and he kind of looks at them, unable to see them, wondering why there's a voice talking to him. Unless, someone comes from his party comes up and talks to him, he just kind of sit there and chill.
I mean, if we're still watching at that point, we would watch 2 or 3 iterations of Johnson running people off, and then slide up. Do you want us to just tell them to not come close in the first place, so you don't have to chase them away?
Oh, Tab, you don't have to do that for me. I am really good at brushing people off.
We know, but we don't want you to be exhausted and we have to go fight Vecna.
Oh, I'll get plenty of sleep, don't you worry.
Which anniversary do we bring them the head of a lich for?
I don't know. Was that probably the first one? Maybe?
We don't know if we have that long to wait, but maybe if we put it in a bag of colding.
I'm sure we could figure out a way to keep a lich's head frozen.
Should we come wake you up when the cake is ready?
Well, yeah, I mean, I gotta get a piece of my cake. I've been told it's the best cake in the world.
We've been following you, waiting to find out, but they haven't served it yet. Should we go? Oh, Jonathan can't see Tab's face.
Nope.
But there's a moment, a light bulb moment. Should we go steal you some cake?
Well, no, I can wait till it gets served.
Tab just sighs heavily and walks away.
Jaws does the shrug thing.
All right, who is drinking?
Oh, God.
V is drinking.
He is drinking.
With that delicious description earlier, Kior would be drinking as well.
Sure.
Mackin's not going to drink unless he is asked to, for a toast or a solidarity thing.
I think Tab is not actively not drinking, but Tabs is doing a lot of wandering around and looking at things, and just sort of hasn't been in one place long enough to start acquiring.
Sure.
Really, food or drink.
Alrighty.
We'll grab an if they're passing appetizers, we'll grab an appetizer off a tray as it goes by, but other than that, it's just sort of milling.
Sure. So night continues on. The cake is brought out. It is huge. It's probably bigger than Macklin. It is definitely bigger than Holly and Molly, who bring it out. With the help of a Tensor's floating disc.
That is certainly a Slayer's cake.
Ilya nods. It really is. Apparently each layer, there's 4 layers and each one has a different flavor. Talia told me about it in detail, and I paid very little attention.
Huh.
Top's chocolate, though. She stands and offers you a hand. And we better go cut it so our guests can eat it.
Oh yes, Josen gets cranky if his sugar drops too low.
So we don't want that.
Snort a little bit and smile and take her hand and get up.
You and V roll me Constitution saving throws. Yeah, you're fine.
I'm fine.
V, everything is spinning and lovely. The colors are all bright. Also, it's nighttime, so the sun isn't hurting your eyes, so you're seeing this like a beautiful fall day. Like, everything is great.
Perfect. Don't interrupt.
The food is amazing, everything is fantastic.
V is tripping balls.
B is fine. Can you hear?
Be's fine. Alright. Cure, you and Ilya approach the cake. Ilya draws her sword. Looks like she went for a short sword for the occasion.
Much better choice than mine.
I thought it might be easier for dealing with the cake. I'm close combat fighting.
Snort a little bit.
Also, if you use the Holy Avenger on the Slayer's cake, Holly Molly may not forgive you and provide muffins any longer.
That is a far more worrisome consequence.
Yes, don't smite the cake.
Smite the cake.
Don't smite the cake.
It would be a spectacular explosion.
It would. And you guys are having this discussion as you cut the cake traditionally with both hands on the sword.
Yup.
Smite the cake. Oh man. A piece is cut. Are you guys doing a cake? Are you doing a cake smash, or are you just gonna do traditional? Feed the cake to each other and not smash it in each other's faces?
Cure would probably lean into traditional.
Okay. And the cake is served, and your wedding party gets to get first slices of cake because you won.
Woo!
We are watching Jocelyn closely.
I'm gonna try my cake. God damn it.
Yeah. First layer, second layer, or third layer?
I'm not picky.
Okay. You go with the first layer, which seems to be some sort of cinnamon sweetbread sort of situation. It tastes very much like a bear claw, but made into a cake. Kind of like cinnamon toast crunch cake.
They make this?
So yeah, like a spice cake
Is this a thing?
with cream cheese frosting. It's
Well, if I wasn't hungry before.
Knowing Tab staring at me somehow, because I get that feeling like someone's
We're
staring at me.
swishing our eyeballs into
Oh god.
Swish, swish, swish.
Although probably slightly less often than most people do, because we are less bothered of our eyes. Like
yeah.
yeah,
You can't win a staring contest with Tab.
you can hear the eyeball swish, but you don't hear any breathing. So it's Tab.
Disturbing. I don't know which one's disturbing, the fact that I can't hear you breathe or the fact that I hear your eyeball swish.
I mean, you started it. We just finished it.
Bam.
Is it everything you'd hoped and more?
It tastes like a bear claw with cream cheese frosting.
So yes, congratulations.
I won a prize. Would you like to try some? Do you eat? Do you eat food?
Only if it's very good. We will try some, thank you.
You eat food.
This is true. Tab consistently only samples things that they are reassured are excellent. But we will sample the cake, having been told it's excellent. Like tiny, we will take a tiny sliver from each layer.
Yeah.
We'll sample them all, and then we'll decide what to do from there.
Sure. So the first layer is as described, the cinnamon toast crunch layer. Because I can't think of a better word for it. It's probably spice cake, but yeah. The second layer appears to be some sort of strawberry with a chocolate mousse. And the third layer is traditional chocolate.
Is Macklin still in the tree, or has Macklin emerged from the tree at this point? Or returned to the tree after following the child around for a while?
He would have come back to the tree, hung out and watched things for a while. Seeing that there's a cake being cut, however, he's probably going to descend and make sure that Ava gets down safely.
Yeah.
Then we will acquire another slice from each layer and wander off in search of Corin.
Yeah.
And spend the next little while just sharing the cake and trying to prod him into dancing.
Mm-hmm. Corin has had at least 2 glasses of wine and is amenable to the idea of dancing.
We are a little surprised and confused and briefly suspicious, but we do not intend to skip twice in the mouth. So off we go.
Dancing it happens. The dancing is starting to get chaotic, especially as cake is had. More wine is being consumed. Quick cure, roll me another saving throw. Con save. V as well, because I would...
Paladins.
No, your second one's a disadvantage. It's Fey wine.
Oh.
V, yep. 12, 13. Alright. Actually, V, roll me another one because it's a disadvantage for your second class, or for your, second round. 11. Alright. Cure, everything is great and fine. And much like V, everything looks beautiful and colorful, and yeah, you're definitely getting drunk. V, you love everybody.
V would like to convince the Fae folk who are assisting with serving that they should go in between the dancers and literally join the dance and then continue serving, because reasons.
Okay. It's not hard to convince Faye to join dancing. Cure.
Whenever Cure feels, she'll drink until the world gets a little spinny. And when that happens, she'll use some lay on hands to cleanse herself of the drunkenness and then continue to drink.
Ilya notices this and she just looks at you and goes, "Why are you drinking if you're just going to cleanse yourself?"
I like the taste.
All right. She hasn't actually been drinking. She's been drinking water out of a wine glass.
I'll lean over to her. If you would like to drink, I can offer you the same services.
It's been a while since I've drank, and I don't want to break my streak.
I cock my head a little bit and raise my eyebrows and do a quick insight check on her.
Sure.
So my gut feeling is know that Ilya tended to drink a lot, and I'm looking to see if this is a sign that she's recognized this and is deliberately cutting back.
Mm-hmm. You kind of start to put together that Ilya has mentioned a few times now, that she doesn't drink anymore. She's even mentioned, you remember when you were in the war camp, and the head of the tavern tried to give her hard cider and say that it wasn't even booze. She was like, "No, I really don't drink." She doesn't drink anymore.
All the signs click into place, and I nod and I give her hand a little squeeze.
She Kind of smiles and leans into you. It is rather fun to watch everyone else get drunk, though.
That is part of the fun of staying sober.
Is that V on the dance floor with a bunch of fae?
Oh my god, that's V on the dance floor with a bunch of fae.
Don't forget the serving trays.
And serving trays of more alcohol.
He's having the best day. Amazing. Sab is so proud.
Blowing off so much steam.
As you're already on the ground, Ava will offer you a hand, Macklin. Would you care to dance?
Well, I've got 11 toes and 2 left feet, but I'll try anything once.
Okay.
I've seen you fight with a sword.
Fighting and dancing are 2 very different things.
Oh. Worst comes to worst, I'll pick you up and just carry you around the dance floor.
That sounds delightful. Please lead the way.
Yeah, she'll lead you onto the dance floor. And the dancing has gotten more chaotic and is definitely not formal dancing anymore.
Oh, good.
Especially as there are people weaving through with glasses with bottles of more alcohol and just passing out glasses and filling people's glasses. Like, people just have a glass now.
It's like some complicated country dance.
It's not
quite a circle dance, but it's not quite anything else.
It's kind of devolved from even that now.
Got a satyr Russian dancing in the corner.
Yeah, it really is. It's becoming a thing. As the chaos level is starting to rise.
It's almost like they're a fae at this wedding.
It's almost like they're a fae at this wedding. Cure, Ilya will offer you a hand. I think we can't not dance at our own wedding.
I was just thinking the same thing. And I'll take her hand.
Mm-hmm. She kind of joins you on the dance floor into this chaotic... It's getting very feral and very wild.
He would like to convince his new friends that they all need to cast dancing lights so that they actually have lights going.
Roll a persuasion check. With advantage, because you're leaning into their natural instincts. Via's starting a rave. Via started a rave. There's dancing lights now timing in time with the music. Booze is being freely passed around and just poured into people's mouths at this point on the dance floor. It's gotten chaotic.
Oh god, it's turning into a bacchanal.
It is turning into a bacchanal.
Fine.
And V is helping. Gren is dancing with at least a pair of fawns. The disguises have started to fall away, and the glamours have started to fall away, and everyone's just partying with Faye now. Yeah.
This party really has gotten wild.
In the quite literal sense. I believe Ava will be the first to spin you off of the dance floor, Macklin, kind of looking around.
It's gonna dip.
This might be a little wild for my tastes.
It's a little wild for anyone's taste, I think.
I don't know, your friend V is having fun.
V? Oh god, see what has gotten into you. Oh no.
Fairy wine.
Fairy wine.
You know, V is a little. V could use a bit of cutting loose. Good heavens.
Damn, that hurt.
Just watch in awe from a distance as V does the most un-V thing that I can see V do.
Well, at least the children have left the party, so.
Can I get out of here yet? What the-
I know he has no idea what's going on, but Dom's interjections are making this even more amusing. Just random party goer in the background.
Yeah.
This is having a good time.
Though I did miss what you said.
Oh, I had forgotten what I'd said. When the kids.
Yes, it's good the kids have not be around for this, perhaps. First, creatures they lose their glamour, then they start to lose their shirts, and then things devolve.
Oh, I think that one's already lost. Okay, no, that's about 4 of them without their shirts. Is that one? Is that
gracious?
is that Prince Gren?
It was
Good on him.
I admire his fortitude, or his.
Eggman's gonna cup his hand to his mouth and just
Should've went down.
shout out at Gren.
Go get some tiger.
He's not gonna remember a damn thing tomorrow, I don't think.
No, I think very few people will.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch the chaos from a safe distance.
Sure.
Do some people watching.
Do some people watching. Roll a general perception check.
General perception. 28 total.
28 total. Okay.
I wonder.
Malcolm just kind of shakes his head and carries on back to people watching.
All right. Jocelyn, what old man thing are you doing? Have you slept? Are you sleeping in a corner? Are you wearing a lampshade as a hat? What you up to?
Yes. Is he muted?
Might have stepped away again.
He's enjoying the party.
Something. All right. Tab, you're dancing with Corin. Corin
Sure
is
are.
a very spirited dancer, if not a skilled dancer. And
We are frankly surprised that he dances at all. So
He's
so we are
definitely
not going to be
having-
picky about the details.
definitely had a few glasses of that wine.
We have enough dexterity to keep out from under his toes. That's fine.
That's good. Yeah.
Tab is not at all put off by the Fey rave situation. Tab is also having not quite as good a night as V, just because that that bar is extremely high. But yeah, Tab is just relaxed and enjoying themselves.
Corin definitely at a couple times picks up Tab, like bodily picks up Tab and spins them around.
Checks out. We will.
That's a very like that's their go-to dance move.
It's fine. We have enough acrobatics to land on our feet no matter what happens. It's delightful. We encourage this activity. I think at this point, I think Tab is at this point actively not drinking because it's like Tab is all in for whatever craziness is happening. But it has
Tab wants to
become
be, yeah.
it has become clear to us like somebody probably needs to have like at least some feelings about them, and it's clearly not any of our colleagues who are still on the dance floor. And Tab only ever has so many wits, so they are pretty sure that they can't spare any of them. But also like Tab doesn't need to be drunk to have a good time at a rave, so this is just fine.
This is okay.
Yes.
All right.
We do continue sneaking back at intervals for like another little sliver of cake.
Oh yeah.
Not because we are this is very good cake. We are not trying not to be seen eating lots of cake. It's just not practical. Like there's a lot of dancing going on. We need to have we need to take just small enough slices of cake that we can eat it before somebody smashes into us or knocks it out of our hands or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like we need to do something else. So we'll just keep going back for more
Yeah,
cake at intervals.
faces smashing into cake might be like a whole like genre of dance that is happening at this point.
Mm-hmm. That's not our bag, but we're very happy for them.
Ilya kind of looks to you, Kyor. I think we should sneak out now.
I've been dancing and kind of just enjoying the moment, allowing myself to get a little flushed in the face, and I'll just nod my agreement with a grin.
As she smiles, takes your hand, and starts leading you from the party. You notice she casts something quietly under her breath. And no one seems to really notice you're leaving.
Do I recognize Pass Without Trace?
Yeah, you recognize it.
Excellent decision.
Having dealt with the traditions, seen the traditions, witnessed the traditions of royal weddings, I feel like we do not need we don't need a witness.
A witness? Nope, don't answer that. Don't need to know.
You don't want to know.
Sounds like an outdated tradition nonetheless.
It really is. Besides, everyone's having so much fun at the party. Okay. She retire. Macklin, about when are you turning in?
Oh,
Get out of here.
I think I'm gonna stay up for a good long while.
Mhm.
Just watch things, make sure they don't get too crazy.
As I step into the void.
Watch the Empress die down. I imagine Ava's a bit of night owl herself too, so
Oh yeah.
we'll probably spend the hours just talking about stuff.
Jaws heads to old man sleep. Easy enough.
Have a good night, everyone. Sorry, I gotta go.
Good night.
Have a
Night.
good night.
It's all good, man. Take care.
Get you next week.
User disconnected from your channel.
Tab, what does your exit look like?
We don't know what you're talking about.
Alright. V, what does your exit look like? How does V end the night?
V manages to dance his way over towards the food table, finally grab his slice of cake, and just continues dancing until he's like out of these party zone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, I'm good. I've had enough interaction for tonight. And goes off to wherever he can find a place to stay. Because I don't
Sure.
think there were like,
There are tents set
here's
up.
where you're staying.
Yeah, there are tents set up for people to collapse into. You find an unclaimed one. Easy enough.
Amazing.
B finds an unclaimed tent. B throws the cloak over the, ties to
Mhm.
mark that this tent is now claimed. And takes over. This is now B's tent.
Sure. Tab.
And B sits in the tent and enjoys his cake. Because the moon is high and it's a lovely night.
It's a lovely night. The moon is
Everything's
high,
fine.
and you fall asleep with an empty plate of cake in your hands.
And a brownie on
No
each
cake
side.
below.
V may wake up the next morning and wonder where the wine came from. Saws in his other hand.
Jocelyn is removed via wheelbarrow to a tent. Tab, staying up?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, this is a party.
Corin eventually kind of starts wandering in a different direction than the dance floor. Booze continued to be had, and he might not be sober anymore.
We will track him down. I mean, assuming we can find him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just
That
wandered
makes-
towards the tents.
Okay. Should we be concerned? We would like to insight whether we whether we should be whether we need to seek medical care
Sure.
or whether 30-20.
Dirty 20. No, it seems like when drunk people just kind of go, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they just wander a while. Yeah,
This is more familiar to us than the dancing of this particular individual of our acquaintance. Okay, we will sort of slide in and like hook an arm through his and like steer him to a place so that we will know where he is and that he doesn't just wander off into the trees, because that is a very real danger when
It's real very
wild hunters are around. Like, Tab doesn't know this, but Tab knows this. No, you can't be just wandering.
There are fae. There are fae around.
A safe place.
Mischief will happen.
Yeah, like no one would mean you ill, but they would, like, if you wander off into the woods, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we will
escort him to a tent.
Yes, and then that will be the end of Tab's night. We will not return to the rave after that.
Macklin, as the party goes from hardcore rave to people kind of starting to taper off into the woods, Ava just shakes her head a little bit.
Macklin just chuckles. Not certain what got into all of them, but aside from the fairy wine.
Fairy wine, fairy dancing, fairy music.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Certainly has been an interesting show.
And good company.
I think.
You think what?
Yeah.
You think what?
He just shakes his head a little bit. Nothing. I think it's getting a little late for me. Starting to peter off myself. I haven't had a
saying to come down.
Planning on finding a tent?
He looks about. I'm not certain whose tent is whose. Can't help me find one that's not occupied.
I would be happy to.
Smiles and takes her by the hand and starts to find somewhere cozy to rest.
Certain enough. And easy enough to find an empty tent. It looks like some people are not taking advantage of the tents.
Oh my.
The tent with the iridescent cloak over it is occupied.
Occupado.
Yes. There is a plethora of empty tents that have been set up for this occasion. Looks like some parts of the war camp have been repurposed into the wedding camp. And yeah, find a tent. Retire for the evening. And as everyone retires for the evening, we're going to call it tonight.
Good
Woo!
party.
Yeah.
Party.
Party, 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 party.
Congratulations, Kior.
Thank you. I imagine Tab can scarcely believe this day has even occurred, considering how different it's been to their usual escapades.
I mean, I feel like this day is more in line with Tab's usual escapades than most of our days.
With Tab's escapades, absolutely. This is the most tabby
Maybe
tab
not
day
the
to happen.
party's escapades, but yeah.
Everyone is on board.
Yeah. No, Tab has had a good day and is pleased. MVPV over there.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Very impressive.
V started drinking before he had anything to eat.
That's
Please.
true fact.
These things happen. Tab maybe thinking that we need to. Can I roll to find out if Tab was able to swipe a bottle of that
Oh
apple
yeah.
wine
I mean,
at some point during the night?
it
Or
would
that
not
just
even
be
require a
thing?
roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm adding 1 bottle of Fey apple wine to Tab's inventory.
Sure.
Because we did give away our Fey moonshine. So I'm glad that we've been able to replenish the situation. What happens to the Dracolich skull and the Lich skull, like, and the Howler heads? They just, like, do they go to your cottage now?
They'll probably be cleaned up at some point. But right now, it's kind of, just there. No one has thought about it.
Delightful. I mean, I'm sure...
I could imagine some of the Fey folk parading it around and
Yeah.
wearing it.
At some point in the night, probably.
Part of the of activities.
I'm just saying that there was a Dracolich puppet show.
Yes.
Yes, good.
It's just that most everyone went to bed before then, except for maybe Macklin.
Yeah, you stayed up.
Delightful.
I stayed up till sunrise.
Good work, Macklin. Oh, excited to see everybody's convos tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm vaguely worried about this.
It's fine. We just have to kill a
Roll for
lich.
hangover.
Another lich. I mean, one lich can't be harder than another lich, right? Like, they're all the same. So
They all have the same stat block.
It's fine. Yeah, there's no differentiation.